welcome to Brand X Reviews. You'd be forgiven for thinking that you're watching an episode of Ashens. I am filming this on my sofa today just for reasons of practicality, but yeah, this is something different today because I have spoke on this channel before about records, done quite a few videos. Did a couple of videos last year specifically just talking about Zuby, so I guess this is kind of a combination of the two. Now, last year, to cut a long story short, there was a Kickstarter campaign that Zuby had started, I think it was last spring 2021, and he did really well with it. And I did a couple of videos at the time talking about his new album and some of the perks that you got as a Kickstarter campaign supporter for that. So I'm not going to get into that too much today. I'm just going to focus specifically on this record. Now, as I mentioned in one of the videos last year, records do take quite a long time to produce, especially when you've not got like a huge studio behind you. As successful as he was with his Kickstarter campaign, this did take a while to do. It was unavoidable, and he was very open and honest about that. So it is what it is. So this thing has come through yesterday, and I'm really chuffed with this. Definitely worth the wait anyway, there's no denying that. So let's have a look at it. So this is the new album. It's got all the tracks on there. It's two records, two discs, should I say. And it didn't come in this outer sleeve. This is something I added just to be clear. It's quite rare that you get anything like that. In fact, I don't think you ever get outer sleeves with records. It's usually wrapped in cling film or something. Now, from what I understand, I seem to remember him saying that there were only 300 of these produced. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but he did a video and you could see he was like legitimately chuffed that this thing has been finally produced. And obviously, as a campaign supporter, you get one of these records, one of 300 if that's correct, and you get your name in the credits as well. Now, this is familiar to me anyway, because this was the same as the CD that I got last year. This is the name of the supporters. I'm on there as well. Interestingly, Dean Cain, that's the Dean Cain from my understanding. That's the guy that played Superman in the 90s series. I remember hearing that he had contributed to this himself as well. That's really cool. He's actually autographed as well. That's an actual autograph that Zuby's done himself. When you did do the Kickstarter campaign, there was a lot of autograph bits and pieces that he threw in as well. So kind of nice that it adds to the collection there. But yeah, and then this is the track list on the back. Like I say, if you're familiar with the album already, it's all the same tracks in the same sequential order. Now, one thing I will mention is that this plays in 45 speed, not 33. So obviously, I can't picture many turntables don't have 45 speed. It's pretty much standard. So just obviously make sure that you set the record on that when you start playing this, because you might be in for a bit of a surprise. Otherwise, it'll sound really the pitch will be off basically. So I wasn't aware. It's not completely out of the ordinary for a 12-inch album to be in 45 speed. I've got a number of records, so there's nothing wrong with that. It's just it's less common. So the artwork on this is very nice as well. It's nice having this on a record because you can see the artwork in much greater detail. I do recall if you were a huge campaign supporter, it was a little bit out of my budget, unfortunately. I can't remember if it was like some kind of canvas or something, or maybe like a giant poster. In fact, I don't think it was just a poster. I think it was some kind of might have been a canvas or something of this, and it was very nice. But like I say, some of the perks, the brackets on there were a little bit out of my price range, unfortunately. But it would have been nice to get something like that. So let's have a look at the actual records themselves, because like I said, there's two of them. So I'll slide those out. The first one is Purple, as you can see there. In fact, let me just demonstrate this one on the turntable just for, 30 seconds or so. I'm pretty sure Zuby won't have a problem with this, so let's just cut across to this thing on the turntable.
Hard to make a million, baby flow is never easy. Couple 100,000 fans, and it all started with a CD. Used to hustle on the street, and now they see me on the TV, going viral like Corona, so they try to quarantine me. A couple real celebrities, but most of them are frauds. Tell you how I really feel, because my only fear is God. They be lying on the media and lying through the mob. They just simp on social media, they've never seen a fraud. I'll be coming to America like Sammy and Akeem. I'm uniting black and white and brown like Martin Luther's dream. And I get around the internet like presidential memes. And I did it independently, I never had a team. You've come a long way, please don't go that's a check to your reality. Oh, you don't like my style? Okay, dude. Oh, you don't like my lyrics?
So that track was OK Dude, and I was playing that on my Audio Technica LP 120, which I mentioned in a recent video on the channel. Now that was the first of the two records that came out of that side. In this side, you get this second disc with side C and D, and as you can see, this one's gold, so it's pretty nice. I can just picture Zuby trying to choose between the two, because I seem to remember originally it was a concept artwork of the record. Both discs were purple, and if you follow Zuby, that tends to be one of his colours. He tends to wear it a lot. A lot of his artwork and his logos and stuff kind of integrate that colour in a really nice way. But at the same time, a gold record, I don't know, it's really nice as well. So I think he just kind of compromised and did both, and both basically. So yeah, good choice anyway, I would say. So not much else to say about this. The inner sleeves on this weren't these. I've kind of re-sleeved them. So in fact, let me just pause this a sec. So as is standard with a lot of records, you just get these general paper sleeves. I was going to say generic, but that sounds like some kind of slight against this thing. It is very standard to get these kind of sleeves where it's just paper. But as a collector myself, I have plenty of these going spare, so I've re-sleeved them with these so they have this plastic inner lining. It's just a bit nicer because it protects from paper scuffing, and sometimes you get like paper flakes on the records as well from these generic ones. And also apparently these help with being a bit more anti-static, which is a factor when you're playing records. But there was nothing wrong with these as such. Sometimes you do get paper flakes from these kind of sleeves, but I didn't have that with this. But either way, I still decided to just use some of these spare ones. Part of the reason I wanted to re-sleeve this thing anyway was because, to be honest, it's quite a big collector of records. This is the nicest record I own, and I'm not saying that to kind of ingratiate myself to the artist in any way. It's just a case of I'm a big fan, and I don't have anything quite as nice and personal as this, because I did have some communications with Zuby when this was being produced. There was a Discord group that I was in because I was actually a Patreon supporter. I've kind of dabbled with Patreon on and off over time. Probably need to get back on that, actually, to be fair, but as a supporter. But yeah, I think it was, like I say, just some of the conversations that a few of us were having with him at the time as a supporter. I was the first person to actually put any money towards this as well. So just little things like that. To me, there's a history to this record. So as nice as a lot of my other records are in my collection, this one is one of the most personal, and hence I kind of felt compelled to do a video about it as well, and just say thanks basically to Zuby for sending this out. He did, of course, do a video message, which was one of the other perks as a supporter of the Kickstarter campaign for this. So it was pretty nice. He said something to me about being on Patreon and Locals, which I'd supported him on both of, which he must have known that because that wasn't tied in with the Kickstarter campaign. So again, there's like a nice little personal touch there that he's aware of who his supporters are and so on. In fact, let me just play the video. I've got it somewhere. I'll just edit it in here.
Hey Joseph, how's it going, man? I'm sorry this video is a little bit delayed, but I told you I was going to get it done, so I am doing it today. I just want to say a massive thank you for all your continued support, for backing me on Patreon or even on Locals, and also for your massive contribution to my Kickstarter project. Got so many new music videos on the way, and this is possible because of awesome people such as yourself. So thank you for all the support. I appreciate you.
So what else is there to say? Very nice album, very decent guy, very talented artist, pretty funny guy as well. If you follow him on Twitter, I think that's one of his main things. As I say, there's a number of ways you can support him. I had, in the past, like he said on the video, supported him on Patreon and Locals. So if you want to financially support him, that's one way. He has an online store as well with, to be honest, some pretty nice gear on there as well. He's got T-shirts and so on. They're actually very good quality. They might seem a little bit more expensive than your usual sort of £14.99 T-shirt that you get for artists if you were to buy them from HMV and so on for big name groups. His are a little bit more expensive, but they are very nice. They are much nicer. I would definitely say that. Some of the tie-dye ones that he did, the quality on those are very good. So just generally recommend him on any kind of any kind of way that you can interact with him. Like I say, pretty sound guy, and his music's really decent as well. And yeah, this album really does show that he's although he's been around for a long time, he's still got a lot to offer anyway, and I look forward to seeing what he does next anyway. So, right, I'm going to leave it there because I've kind of said what I needed to say about the record, and now I'm just kind of rambling in general. So, yeah, Brand X Reviews. Totally unrelated to this video. If you stay till after the credits, as is usually the case with me, I usually edit like weird random videos in. We've got a bit of a game for you if you're in the mood for playing a game. Stick around right to the end of this video, but for now, I will say you can like and subscribe to this. You can subscribe to the channel, like the video. That's how that works. We are on Twitter at the moment on a temporary basis, well, on a trial basis, depending on how things go with Elon Musk. But you can look us up at Brand X Reviews on Twitter as well. If you go to the gramophonemmind.com, if I can get the words out, there is a link on there to the Twitter page, which is kind of a combination of the content that you see on the gramophonemmind.com. It's all culture war stuff, which is relevant to this, as well as a link to the Twitter page. We also have a recommended music section on there as well. So if you're into stuff like this album, there's some other artists on there that you might want to check out. Not all of it is rap, but predominantly it is. But there's some other stuff on there that's pretty good. A bit of comedy music as well from Dominic Frisby and a few other good guys. So check those all out. I've just thrown a load of stuff at you there as well at the end of this video. But as I say, for now, like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Right, it's game time again. We're going to try to guess how many tongue flaps Maisie can do within the space of 30 seconds. Get ready, the countdown is about to begin. Go. My apologies about that, we seem to have played the wrong clip. We'll start again. So, 30 seconds, get ready to begin. Go. So difficult to tell because some of them were off screen, but I counted 36 clear tongue flaps. So congratulations to everyone who got the right answer, and we will see you next time.